The Real Housewives of New York City. So let's talk about the latest episode, which was season 15, episode 5. And before we dive in, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's go. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like this season and definitely this episode is boring and it fell flat. Very, very flat, very, very boring to me. In fact, I think Jessel even came out and said, oh, they had to stop filming early or they cut filming early because the girls were fighting so much. Like there was so much inner fighting. And the problem is it's not fun fighting because there's like fun drama, fun beef, fun shade, but it's getting to the point where it's not even dark. It's not like a Beverly Hills when Beverly Hills was dark with like the whole Lisa Rinna and all that stuff. It's not even dark fighting. It's just tired fighting. It's tired and it's boring. Like I felt the way Brynn felt at the party, just bored at Jessel's clueless party. Jessel was again trying way too hard. Like, why are you like she turned 41, I think it was, or something like that. Why are you having 4 outfit changes, clueless theme? Like your friends didn't even know who your husband was. Like that's also super shady. Are these extras that you just hired to come to your party? Like, how do your close friends and family not know who your husband is? Because then someone like, oh, how do you know Jessel? And he was like, I'm her husband. So who are these people? Are these like central casting extras? I'm confused. I'm confused. How do they not know Pavitt? Anyway, let's go through the girls. Sai, again, Sai, I feel like she's doing a lot better this season. She's actively trying to be less angry, less reactive. But again, I'm bored of her. Not that she's necessarily boring, but I'm not particularly interested in her. Like I don't care. I'm not invested. Like she's beefing with people, but now she's best friends with Ubah. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Brynn, Brynn, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually don't mind Brynn. I don't. I do think that she is sad. I think she's lonely. I think she's a bit bitter when it comes to Ubah and her man. I think she's kind of like, that's what I want, and it should be me a little bit, I think is going on there. But I actually don't dislike Brynn. I don't. I know that's probably a very unpopular opinion, but I don't dislike Brynn. I also know that Brynn is going to get the brunt of the whole, angry black woman comment that she made to Ubah, don't act like that because they're going to paint you as the angry black woman. And then Oliver isn't going to want to marry you. So I'm telling you to like use your words, calm down, don't be the angry black woman, or else Oliver won't want to marry you. Translated meaning, don't act too black or else Oliver isn't going to think that you are worthy of being with him and in his circle and with his people. Don't present too black, is basically what she was saying. Now, I know that in and of itself, that is wrong. That is rooted in racism. That is rooted in internalized racism. That's rooted in a lot of different things. I think that's also how Brynn sees herself. I think she struggles with her own identity and her own blackness. And that's probably how she feels that she can't present herself as too black or else she won't be accepted in certain circles and everything like that. So whatever the case may be. So for me, when Brynn said that, it was more of I feel bad for how racism has turned into internalized hatred for herself, internalized anti-blackness, because I understood what Brynn was saying, and in it of itself, it is wrong, 1,000%. But you have to peel back the layers of where that actually comes from and what that is actually rooted in. And to be honest with you, Ubah agreed with her, which is why when Ubah came, this was last episode, or the episode before that, when Ubah came back to the table, she was like, oh my God, I love Brynn. You're amazing. I only act like that because of Brynn. And then in last night's episode, when she has the conversation with Raquel, she's again trying to backpedal. Oh, Brynn said, I would be the angry black woman, but she triggered me and I only did that because of her. And that's not really me. So Ubah is even trying to say like, "Oh, that's not actually how I act. That's not actually me. That was just me because of Brynn triggering me." So she herself is actually, feeding into that. Like, that's not actually me. I was just triggered because of Brynn. I don't really act like that. And my point is this: unfortunately, there is so much stereotypes and racism and internalized racism and self-hatred and anti-blackness that we see a Brynn saying this, and then we see an Ubah internalizing this and agreeing with it. But I don't think people are understanding that's actually what Ubah is doing. And I don't think people are understanding that what Brynn is saying isn't rooted in hating Black people. It's rooted in hating a part of herself, if that makes sense. So I kind of look at both of these women with a little bit of compassion, because basically what they both are doing is rooted in self-hate due to racism. And that's really at the core. And I think that that conversation is being missed because people are just like, oh, Brynn said this and angry Black woman stereotype, and Uba is like this beautiful Black woman and she can do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the true conversation, the core of the conversation to me is more about self-hatred, the dimming of self, the assimilation of self, in order to be accepted, to be loved, to be worthy, to be deserving. And I think that's a more productive conversation to have, because that's actually at the root of what's going on with these two women. And that's actually at the root of why their friendship has such a divide. And the reason why I brought that back up is because Jessel was saying, they had to cut production short because of fighting. The fighting is between Brynn and Ubah, you know? So we'll see what happens with all of that stuff and how that unfolds and shakes out. Erin, again, the reason why I think that this, like, what it's giving? This season of New York is kind of giving last season of Beverly Hills, where all the women were just sad. And so that's why the season was kind of flat, where because all the women just seemed sad and lonely and like depressed. Erin is clearly sad, lonely, angry, and depressed. Her and her husband are having a very pretentious fight every single scene. He he spilled coffee on her or ice cream or some crap on her because he was like annoyed with her talking. Like, they clearly are going through it. Her mother is sick. Her husband I bet you they are in a lot of debt. I bet you their financial situation is not pretty, and I think that there's a lot going on with Erin, and I think she's really sad, which was what the core of her fight with Jenna was. She was like, listen, because again, let this be a PSA. Check in on your strong friends. Check in on your friend that you think doesn't need you, because probably she's the friend who needs you the most. So check in on your friend who you think don't need you. Those are the ones who probably need you the most, because those are the ones that get overlooked when they're in crisis. Erin's like, hey, you guys know, like, my husband just, financially abused me. My mother has cancer. I'm going through it. Like, I just had to move houses, because we got sued for $44,000 in unpaid rent. Like, Erin's going through it. And no one's checking on her. No one's really sure, maybe Ubah, but like that's their friendship, I think, is more of a convenience than a true one. That's just my gut feeling there. But she was like, Jenna is supposed to be my friend. I've always had her back. She's not checking in on me, And so it's like, check in on your friend that you think doesn't need you. Just check in and be mindful of people who are going through things, who may not have the emotional ability, not necessarily ability or capacity, because ability and capacity are two different things. The ability means that you have the emotional intelligence to know to ask for support, or that you're going through something and you need something. That's the ability, right? The capacity is, I am just overwhelmed and I just don't have the space to even deal with figuring out how to get support. So I think that Erin has the emotional ability because I think she's very emotionally intelligent. But I think because she's in crisis, she does not have the emotional capacity to deal with asking for help. So if you have a friend who has something going on, a death in the family, cancer, a crappy husband who is either cheating or is being financially abusive, check on them. Like, maybe just see, girl, you want to go for coffee? Can I come over? Let's watch some TV. Check on your friends, guys. Check on your friends. Okay. Um, so yeah, so I actually really like Erin. Again, that might be an unpopular opinion, but I like Erin. I think she's fun. I think she's cool, but I do think she's definitely going through something. Now, Jenna effing Lyons. I think she's overrated and I stand by that. I will die on this mountain. I think she's super overrated. I don't think she's that interesting. I don't think she's that cool. I don't know. I'm just not here for it. I don't Sure. Okay, Jenna. Cool. I don't even know what to say about Jenna because yeah, I'm just not that into it. I don't know. I mean, I guess she's like a girl boss and everything. Okay, cool. But, yeah, I don't know. Pay Erin back the 250 for the Uber ride. I would be pissed if I had to pay for my friend's Uber ride and it was $250 and they did not pay me back, but then they drive up with a $250,000 Bentley, but you can't pay me 250 bucks. We have a problem. You better Venmo me that money ASAP, okay? ASAP. Pay her back. Pay her back. Okay. Jessel. You know what grinds my gears when it comes to Jessel? I I don't know what it is, but there's something in my spirit that just repels an adult woman who doesn't know who she is. Like Jessel being like, "Ah, I wanted to be the rich bitch in California, like clueless. And like, she's like a spoiled girl. And, she's like daddy's little girl. Who does that sound like, Pave? Ugh. Like, what? Like, are you not an adult with children? Like, I'm confused. What is going on with you? You're just all over the place. She's playing pretend. She's just her and her husband. He doesn't even get her a card for her birthday and anniversary. Like, what? He's going to Vietnam for sandwiches. Sure. Like, let's just pretend that's still the truth. What is going on in your life? Like, get it together. Now, that is not to say that I have an issue with women who are rich or want money or has a trust fund from daddy or has a husband who provides for them. No, I am not saying that there's anything wrong with that because I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying the way Jessel sort of dumbed herself down and got really weird and just I always wanted to like do this. It was just weird. It just seemed very like you're an adult woman and you have no idea who you are and you're still chasing some childlike fantasy, but not in like a cute way, not in like a fun way, but just in like a I feel bad for you. And I think that's why she still has this nervous energy about her, this weird energy, because I feel like she's always playing a role and playing pretend. And the gag is, I think if she actually just breathed, took all that away, and just got grounded into who she was, I actually think Jessel would be really cool. I think she would be like really funny and really cool and just like a cool chick. But the problem is she gets in her own way because she still has all of these like fronts and like pretenses and like pomp and stance and this accent that I'm still not buying, Jessel. I don't know why. I just don't buy your accent. I think it's fake. That's just me. Um, Better than Dorit's though, but I still don't buy it. I think if she sort of like let all that go, stopped caring about what people thought, let the weird fantasy go, and just sort of was like, hey, this is me. Like, this is what I'm insecure about. This is what I'm secure about. This is who I am. I'm trying to figure it out. I actually think that version of Jessel would be really cool because I do think she's a cool girl. I do think she's funny. And I do think there's like really cool, quirky qualities to her. But to me, I just can't get past the the fakeness of it all, the weirdness of it all. You know, like that to me, I can't get past with Jessel. So my note to Jessel is like, just breathe, let anything go, and just show up fully as yourself because that is enough. Jessel and Bronwyn are giving sort of similar vibes, if that makes sense. Okay. Ubah. Ubah, 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 Ubah. All right, Ubah. Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't like Ubah. I think she's mean. I do. I think she's kind of mean. Um, I think Ubah's kind of mean, and I also think that she is hiding a lot. I think that Ubah probably has a lot going on in her personal life, whether it's with family or friends or business or something. I think she has a lot going on, and she's not actually being honest about what's going on in her life. She hid her boyfriend for an entire season and then got mad at Brynn for bringing it to the show on the finale when she told Sai, and Sai was the one who told Brynn. So, and now that's her entire personality for season 2 is being mad at Brynn for exposing the fact that she was lying for the entire season about being in a relationship. That's an Ubah problem, not a Brynn problem. But yet she's best friends with Sai, who is the person who actually betrayed her trust. Sai was the one who owed you silence, not Brynn. So again, very weird, bizarre, and I don't know. Ubah's just mean to me. She just seems really mean, and I don't know. I'm not here for Ubah. Um, Now the way she reacted to the angry black woman comment, how she clearly internalized it and then tried to make sure she got it on camera multiple times. That's not who she is. That's not how she acts. It's all Brynn's fault. Brynn triggered her. If it wasn't for Brynn, then she wouldn't have acted like this. Again, I feel the same way about Ubah that I do about Brynn. It makes me sad because all of that still comes from a place of self-hate, self-judgment, internalized racism. Because if it wasn't, Ubah would be like, this is who I am. I am a human being. This is how I reacted. And it's okay. I'm still worthy. I'm still deserving. I can be angry. I can be upset. I can be triggered. I can have every single emotion that is available to me as a human being. And that does not take away my humanity. It does not take away my worthiness. It does not take away my deservingness. And it sure as hell should not take away the love that my boyfriend has for me simply because I'm being a human being. But instead, she was like, no, that's actually not me. I only reacted that way because of Brynn. Because she didn't want to identify as angry black. She did not want to get any smoke for being angry black in case Brynn was right. And Oliver would be like, you're acting like an angry black woman. You're embarrassing me on TV. You can't, I don't want to be with you anymore because you don't represent the type of woman I want to be with. So she was doing 1,000% damage control. And I'm not going to judge her for that, even though I don't think it's right. I'm not going to judge her for it because that reaction, again, it's rooted in self hate. Because, you know, we have been taught as Black people, if you act a certain way, you're going to be thought about a certain way. You're not going to get opportunities. You're not going to get love. You're not going to get the job. You're not going to get the house. You're not going to get the position. You're not going to get the stature. You have to assimilate. You have to act white. You have to be a certain, you have to present a certain way. You know, we've been taught that as Black people. And if you don't, then you're going to be treated less than. You're going to be looked at differently. You're going to be discriminated against. So there's a lot of unlearning of self-hatred that as a society we have to do. So do I think what Brynn said was anti-Black 100%? But I also understand why she said it. I don't agree with it because I'm personally not anti-Black. I'm Black, blackity, black, black. No, but I understand where she was coming from based on her own level of self-hate. And so there's that. Now, let's see. Raquel, I don't think Raquel really wants to be here. I don't think she's having fun. I think she thinks the arguments are weird and pathetic. She looks a little scared to me. I like Raquel in general, but I I don't think she is enjoying herself on the show. But I do like Raquel. I do like how um vulnerable she is. I like how she's honest. I like how we're seeing every facet of her life, her job, her wife or her fiance, her kids, her backstory, her upbringing, and she's just a cool chick. I also like how she came on, but she's not Jenna's mouthpiece. She's not just saying whatever Jenna wants her to say. She's forming her own relationships with all of the women. She's being her own person. Because sometimes you see that when someone comes on the show and they're just like the mouthpiece of the person who brought them on. And I also like that she's not turning against Jenna because we see that as well. The moment a new housewife comes on, they turn on their friend who got them on the show. So I like that she's not doing that. And she seems very normal and cool. My only thing with her is I'm not sure if she's having fun. I'm not sure if she wants to be there. Like she kind of looks like she doesn't. That's my only note for Raquel. Like, tell your face you're happy to be here because I don't think you really want to be here, but I really like her though. Rebecca Minkoff, very similar to Raquel, I would say. Like my notes, she was barely in the episode, but I would just say Scientology aside, even though I know that's a big thing, I actually kind of like Rebecca Minkoff. She seems to be herself. I do like how she put Brynn in her place because I called it. Remember, I called it. I said there's a problem with Brynn continuously trying to bully Rebecca Minkoff into drinking. If Rebecca does not want to drink in any context, it is none of Brynn's business, and she needs to pipe down about it. And Bravo also needs producers, I think, should step in and say, Brynn, you need to stop, given the fact that they have about 20 lawsuits that, are citing pressure on the workplace to drink alcohol. So I did like that because I called that I think a couple episodes ago. So I do like the fact that Rebecca called Brynn out on it and was just like, you need to stop. Like, why are you so obsessed with me drinking? And then Brynn thought she was doing her big one. She's like, well, I heard that you do drink, you just don't drink with us. Brynn, shut up. Who cares? She could drink all day from Sunday to Friday. And if on Saturday she doesn't want to drink, she doesn't have to. Brynn, if I were you, I would be more worried about minding your own business, okay? I would be more worried about the rumors going around about you and how you get your money and how you don't get your money. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I would be more worried about working on yourself, go finding a rich man because that's what your particular plan is. And that's no shade to that. I don't really care. But I do think, Brynn, you just need to kind of mind your own business, work on your own happiness, and stop worrying about what Rebecca Minkoff is drinking or not. Like, what does it have to do with you? Not a damn thing, you know? So I did like how Rebecca stood up for herself. And I do like how Rebecca and Raquel, to me, have kind of the most authentic energy. Kind of what I'm going back to Jessel about. Like, I do think that Jessel, at her core, is a cool person. I do. But she has that weird, nervous energy to her. Whereas Raquel and Rebecca don't. They're very just authentic. They're chill. They are who they are. It was like, and also when Brynn was trying to get Rebecca to like pop off and shade, and Rebecca was like, no, I'm good. Like, I love that. She didn't get self-conscious. She didn't try to bend and fold to please Brynn or to fit in. She was just like, no, that's like not my style. And to me, that is the essence of a cool girl. Like that is the type of woman I would want to be friends with. Someone who's like, "No, I'm good. Like this is me and like I'm gonna do me and it is what it is and like you need to back off." So I actually really like Rebecca. I really like Raquel too. I just want to make sure she actually still wants to be on the show, you know. Let's see who else is there. So I think that's it really for these guys. I feel like the last episode was kind of flat. Hopefully it'll pick up more, but don't want the I don't want the tired fighting to turn into dark fighting, which I think it does. Jessel said that they had to stop filming because of the fighting. So I hope it doesn't turn too dark. with this whole situation, but I feel like it's going to. But the note I have for all of the girls is like, smile, act like you want to be there, like find something in your life to be happy about. You know what I mean? Like they all seem sad to me. They all seem lonely and they all seem sad. Except for there's a level of sadness to Raquel, I have to be honest about. I don't see any sadness with Rebecca, but I do see a level of something melancholy in Raquel and all of the rest of the women too. Like I think Jessel is very lonely in her marriage. I think Ubah is hiding a lot of her personal life. I think maybe things are good with the boyfriend, but maybe not good in other places. Like she said that he was the only stable thing in her life. So share with the group, Ubah. You're on a reality TV show. Share with the group. What are you talking about? What's not good in your life? Share with the group. I think there's a lot going on with Ubah that she's not telling us. And maybe that's why she's so mean. Jenna, whatever. Erin is sad. Brynn is lonely. And Sai, I think sad is sad too. So we'll see. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Are you watching this season? What do you think about the ladies? And let me know your predictions for, the upcoming seasons for this. Do you think it's time to put them on a pause? If they stopped filming because of fighting, maybe it's time for a pause. Maybe the reboot needs a reboot because they're kind of boring. Okay. All right, you guys, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the OC.